Hello, welcome to Success Your Way Movement Live. I'm Nicole Hanselman. Thank you for joining me. Today's topic is single parenting and co-parenting. It's actually our week's topic, so I'm just talking in preparation for our guest who is coming on Thursday. We've got Naomi here on Thursday. Meanwhile, as I wait you to join and come on, my voice is not completely back. Pardon me. I'll go and tag some of my friends. I normally go on my phone and tag my friends so that they remember or know we are on. So let's do this. Otherwise, welcome. Say hello to me. Tell me where you're joining from. Cool. So there we go. Let me find it. Oh, my voice. So let me see. I'll just tag the first names that comes up. So, hi guys, welcome. Tell me where you're joining from. Tell me your name, because sometimes I don't get to see who is on. Tell me about yourself. Okay. So this is Success Your Way platform. Hi everyone. I don't know who is here. Sometimes. Oh, hi. I think I know who that is. Kaz. Welcome, Kaz. Karibuni. Hi, James. Karibu. Both of you are here today. So we're talking about single parenting and co-parenting today. You got to tell me whether you've been in that situation whether you are on one now or whether you've been on one before, whether it was the setup you had before. Hi, Justus. Karibuni. So I was tagging, and now let's see. So for those who don't know me, I'm Nicole Hanselman. I want to believe that a lot of people know me now. The people who are like mostly on this platform know me. We're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on our page and on the group here. We're going to talk about single parenting. I've been on one. That is how the kind of setup I grew up in, and it's the setup I have right now. So it's something so familiar. But we do have our guest coming on Thursday, and she'll be telling us more. Okay, I'll do one last tag and then we get on with it. As usual, just say hello, tell me where you're joining from and stuff. So, who haven't typed? And then okay, cool. So Asanteni. So okay, cool. Let's do this. So single parenting. I grew up in that kind of setup. My mom had 5 of us. We've lost one. We lost one back it's probably 20 years now. 20 years ago. We lost one. So we are 4 of us. Yeah, I've got 2 brothers and 1 sister. Most of you know her. She's really loud on Facebook. Karibu from Nairobi. Sijita Ivo, that will stick. Kijita Nairobi. Yeah, so that's the kind of setup I grew up in. And right now I've got a boy who is 13. So this is something that is totally familiar in my life. But what are some of the things that we need to understand about single parenting? This is something that there's still stigma around it. So single parenting in UK, for me, I would say it's not too bad. The one I grew up in was in Kenya. It was crazy. We knew poverty. We knew how to eat unripe popo, the popo fruit. You don't even wait for it to be ready. Unaikula hivyo mbichi. because of the financial struggles that can come with single parenting. So single parenting is different from a lot of people depending on where you are, right? Before I continue, please tell us whether that's something familiar to you, whether you've been through it. Personally, I'm having an easy time. I have the best baby daddy in the whole world. I couldn't have chosen a better person to do the whole co-parenting thing with. Yeah, I couldn't have chosen a better person. So for me, single parenting in UK is easy. Easy in the sense that we do get financial help. If you're a single parent, you can choose to get the help, you can choose to get housing, you can choose to get all that, and there's so much help and support for a lot of us. So it's not that bad. But there are some universal struggles that we all still go through. So personally, when it comes to housing, I chose not to go through that path, not because of any reason. I just told myself a lot of these housing situations means that you don't get to choose the areas you'll be living. So you might end up in an area that you know it's not a good influence for your kid. I told myself, you know what? I'd rather be the poorest person in a rich area. Not that I live in a rich area, but I'd rather do that than live in like some setups, some areas where my son might learn how to do some awful things at a tender age. Most of those parents are probably not working. I'm being judgmental, and maybe I'm being judgmental. I am being judgmental. So in my head, I always told myself to live in such areas that there's this likelihood that they're not working, and most of those people are just out there smoking all day long, and they're just idle, and then there'll be gossip, talking about each other, competing with each other. I told myself, this is not the thing I want for myself. This is not the kind of thing that I want for myself. I want to come out of that. So I've always chosen to pay for my housing, to work. I've always worked a lot more than I need to, and there's a point in my life that I didn't even want all those government help that is available for single parents. So that's it for me when it comes to the financial side. When it comes to the lonely side, the making all decisions for yourself, now that's interesting. Hi, sorry I can't see who that is. Asante Karibu. Today I finally managed. Hi dear. Hi. Karibu. Wacheni kujiita Nairobi shauri zenyu. It will stick. Mtaendelea mkionani sifa shauri zenyu. So anyway, so when it comes to loneliness, what happens when you're a single parent and when it comes to loneliness? It's all about the mindset. It's just the same as boredom and everything else. It's all about the mindset. For me, I didn't think that I need to be with anybody just for the sake of it, just for the lonely moments and stuff. I always told myself, no, that's not the path for me. I don't want to be with somebody for the sake of company. You can be with somebody and still be lonely. I don't want that for myself. Or you can be with somebody and you're unhappy. I don't want that for myself. I want to be happy, and whoever comes is just adding on. So yes, I've been in a relationship before. I've tried it, and that's a deep story. I won't even go to it today. But yeah, I've been in another relationship. Apart from baby daddy, I have been in another relationship. But right now in my life, I'm so busy. I've got so much going on. I don't have room for BS. Yeah, I said it. I don't have room for BS. Yeah. So that's it. I have done that single parenting for 12 years. Amazing. No co-parenting, no nothing, but God has been faithful. My son is now third year university, and my daughter going in year 7. This makes me work more harder. Oh my God. Congrats, my darling. That's a long time. That is a long time. And without a support, that is a long time. For those who don't know what co-parenting is a situation where parents are not together and they need to raise that kid together, and they have to come to a mutual agreement. Myself, we didn't really even put anything down. We just decided that we're going to be there, because it's not about us now, it's about the child. So I've always told myself, anything he wants regarding to his son, he can have. Anytime he calls me, tells me he wants his son, even if it's the middle of the night, he can have his son. I will never be jealous of that. I'll never want to compete for the love, for the attention, for whatever. My son is going to love me anyway. I'm the mom. It's not a competition here. You want to help financially, that's your choice. When all this started, I told him and I told myself, you know what? You do what you want. If you want to provide, provide. But be rest assured is that when he's of age, I'll tell him the things that you did and didn't do. So your choice where you want to come in and how much you want to provide. So that worked for me. I didn't have the energy and time to be arguing about petty things that don't matter. But thank God, I was so lucky. He's a very amazing dad. A very amazing dad. Mlamua ongeza kizungu cha Kenya ndio tu nikuelewe please. Asante. Kizungu ya Kenya ina soundigiaje? Kizungu ya Kenya ni ngumu by the way. Mnaongea ile kizungu ya Queen, si tunaongea kizungu ya mtaani so long as we communicate. Hapana. Hiyo ya Kenya sitamake. So yeah, so that's single parenting in Kenya, in UK. And for Kenya, the kind that I grew up, I saw my mom struggling in a way that she used to work 48 hours, 72 hours. I still don't understand how she did it. And then the older kids had to look after the younger kids. Oh my God, it's so hard until it gets to an age where the older ones want to do their own things. They don't want to be looking. They're kids themselves, but they don't want to be looking after the younger ones. So you have to learn how to cook. Yeah, so it was so difficult. She never had time to spend with us, to get to know us. My mom was so busy. She was so busy. She comes home, all she wants to do is sleep. Ataki kelele, anataka tu kulala. Yeah. Amerudi nyumbani hajaona, and that time she used to take us to school. Arudi nyumbani, apeleke skuli, arudi kazini. Superwoman. I say single parenting is a superpower. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Just waking up every single morning, like the example we've had for 12 years and doing it. Apana. 12 good years of waking up and doing it over and over again. God bless you so much. God bless you so much. I hope that your son, your daughter, and your son, actually, I hope they'll look back and really appreciate your effort. But the thing is, with such kind of setups, the only problem is sometimes, because you never saw like both of your parents together, you're bound not to know how you others are supposed to relate, what you're supposed to do. So when it comes to your own situation and you're trying to have a family of your own, it becomes so difficult. It becomes so difficult because it's something you don't know yourself. Huwezi peana kitu hauna. You know, you can only give what you have. You always depend. So for me, sometimes I say, I never really saw that thing in my own family. I never really saw that ati baba, mama, pamoja, nini. I never saw it apart from when we tulicheza baba na mama. I'm joking. So yeah, it's something so difficult to relate to if you never saw it yourself. I believe relationship and children are overpriced and overrated. Yes, at the end of the day, we want our children happy. We want to be happy. If children are not your thing, you don't have to do it just because of people. If being in a relationship is not your thing, you don't have to be in one. Those are some of the things that make us end up having children, and I don't know. Yeah. I was kicked out of a relationship because apparently other chicks who I didn't know liked me. Can you believe it? But saizi in Kenya you can, pardon. Saizi in Kenya see what kuna people can marry other people, and you know, so I don't think that should be ever a problem again. Ebu rudi ukatete hiyo relationship if you like being there. Yeah, kalongolongo ndo ilitufundisha what it is, but with kalongolongo you play in one evening alafu mnarudi nyumbani, so you really don't know what it is to be in a relationship and keep on and stuff like that. So kalongolongo haina responsibility as such because aunties you and uncles come and help you. And anyway, okay, that is okay, today's topic was just in preparation for, you know, like on Thursday we'll come, Naomi will be talking more about single parenting and facts like that. So what are some of the things that we need to remember about single parenting? In my own situation, the things I've seen is that sometimes loneliness can get the better of you and make you do the wrong things. They try relationship you should be in. Some people smell vulnerability from miles away, and when they notice that, they come promising you all those things that they know you always wanted, and then you find yourself going back to square one. But unfortunately, for some of us, we end up having more kids. So every time you're in a new relationship, kids are involved. Anytime, so you end up being in so many relationships. What you need to do, what I did for myself is I worked on myself. I decided to work on myself. That's the only thing I can change anyway. Leave the kids alone, leave the spouses alone, work on yourself, find yourself and understand yourself and know what you want in life. Alafu sasa, anybody you meet, you can make it work and you'll know whether they're just there for the ride or whether they are your go-to person or whatever. That way, hautapata kama unaenda kila mahali watoto wapya, kila mahali watoto wapya, and you wonder, and you start thinking that you've been cast. You've not been cast, my darling. You've just not worked on yourself. Personally, like me, having been brought up in a single parenting household, that's all I knew. That's all I knew. So obviously, I'm bound to copy the same thing. I'm bound to make the same mistake. Yeah. So yeah, just work on yourself and stuff. So the things we need to know, there will be loneliness, and loneliness might make you do the wrong things. And then there will be probably mental disorders. It's very common, depression and stuff. Children can be affected. You can be affected. You need to look after yourself, get support, counseling, whatever help is out there, go for it. The other thing that I like about churches, I know we demonize those things and stuff, but uzuri ya vitu kama church, you get support system, you get advice, you get people who are concerned, or people who have been in that journey with you and they help you through it. Hiyo ndo kitu mimi napendaga tu church. Hiyo ndo kitu. If there's the only thing I like about church, then that will be it. That support system that we get. And it's really important to be aware of these things, be aware of the risk of all those things, but don't be afraid of being a single parent. Don't be afraid. If your value or your goal in life is just to have children and never be in a relationship, that's fine. Don't worry about people. Don't worry. People will judge. That is nothing to do with you. That is not your business at all. If that's what you want, yeah. But if you find yourself in a relationship and it's not working, you need to leave. You need to leave. I'm talking about the extreme cases where there is abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. Those are the ones I'm talking about. But if it's a day-to-day kugombana, no, we're talking about extreme cases. You have the power within yourself to survive, live. Single parenting is not as bad as it sounds. It's not a demon. It's not, I don't know what, a curse or whatever. It can be done. Anybody can do it. And sometimes circumstances force you to do it. So you will find the strength within you to do it. Yeah. So judgments will be there. Assumptions will be there. Oh, alienda kafanya nini ndo ikamfanyikia. Accept those. That is how we are. That is how we are. Like I've ever shared my story of what happened before I went to a certain church after years of not going to church and stuff. I told myself, oh, what can I recognize by this part of me? Women at church, what wakujui, just because they've seen you're a single girl with a child, a little child, wanaona tu huyu amefuata mabwana zetu. You start being introduced to husbands who are not even there. Bwana yuko huko mbali. Ati unaona ule ni bwanangu. Like seriously, yeah. Make peace with that. People will assume that just because you're single, you're unhappy. Just because you're single, you want a spouse and you will take anybody else's spouse. Don't worry about those things, do you? Absolutely, do you? Hi, Asante. That's my friend. He's got a YouTube channel. Please follow him on YouTube. They seem beautiful. They are grateful, unfortunately, that I'm always out of the country fetching for them. My daughter, and I tried to ask her if she would love to meet her dad because she last saw him when she was 1, and she said, no, I don't know him, and he has never made effort to see me. So I said I will leave, and I respected her decision. Pardon me, excuse me, guys. So you know what you're talking about. I still don't know who this is, sorry. But you know what you're talking about. This is really true, and this is something I can relate to. Because when I was young, let's say I was about 6, 7, thereabouts, sikumbuki, and my mom was really struggling financially. All she had was the car that was left to her. She lost everything. She was very rich. She was in a relationship, or she was married to a very rich person, but she left with nothing. And she only had a car. And she decided to use that car for taxi work. So she was a taxi driver. That's what my mom was, a taxi driver. And she was struggling. And we were 5 of us, like I said. So it reached a point where my mom was like, why am I doing this all by myself? You know? And she asked the little ones, this is Wadogo, we reach out to our dad, and to ask our dad, Kwa, we need fees, we need food, we need that. And at that age, I should remember what age it was, but something in me knew that I don't want to reconnect with my dad. Something in me at that tender age knew that, you know what, he's my dad. And if he wants me, he should reach out to me. He should find me. He should know I need fees. He should know I need food. And my little sister ended up, they helped her because she was still young, learning to write and stuff, but she was really clever anyway. So they helped her draft a letter, and they sent that letter to my dad asking for the stuffs we needed. So my younger sister reconnected to my dad. I never wanted to do that. And I hated him for that because I think was daddy's girl. I was the person who would sit on his lap when he was working, doing his stuff. I'll be the person who would go everywhere with him. And so I felt like he had personally let me down. I took it as a personal attack to me at that age, and I never really forgave him for a long time. And then he tried coming back years later and reconnecting, and because I was young, you're still forced to connect with him, so I was just doing it. But when I was of age, when I was about 18 or so, and he came back to the country, I didn't want to meet him. I didn't want to meet my dad. I refused to meet my dad. So the last time I met my dad was when I was a young teenage girl, and I never saw him again. And years later, when we were supposed to reconnect, unfortunately, he died. So I never reconnected with my dad. I do dig what you're talking about. Just leave her. If when she's ready, she'll do it. If not, it was never meant to be. My dad and I did talk later, a lot later in life. In my late 20s, we did talk, and then he passed away. So don't worry about that. Every child is different. Yeah, I like that you're respecting a decision. Single parenting is very challenging, more especially in Africa, where employment is also a problem. I really can't tell how my mother managed to raise 8 of us single-handedly. God bless our parents. Like I say, I think it's just a superpower. God gives you strength. I have one, and I know it's a struggle. And I tell myself, how do people do it? How did my mom do it? How did she do it? Oh my God. 8. God bless you so much. Hi, dear. Hi. Hi, my friend. All the way from high school days. Hi. Yeah, so it's a challenge, but it's doable. Our parents did it. A lot of our parents did it, and they did it at the worst era possible, where you'd be called names. Sorry to use this word, Malaya. They'll be called all those things. And you see, like my mom, she was really disadvantaged because she was married when she was a young girl, about 16, to a very old man, culturally, because her dad had died. They couldn't take her to school, so she was forced to get married. She got married to a very old person. The person died, and she had 3 children. So after some time, she had to remarry, being a young girl. So she remarried, but unfortunately, her marriage didn't work out for her. So, and then she was married to a white person. You can imagine all the names that she got called back in those days. All the names, there's nothing that they didn't call her. Yeah. So we are lucky now. People are more understanding. They're still very mean and stuff, but it's a lot better than when our parents did it. Back in the days, if your spouse died when you're still young, you're told, wewe umchawi, umekuja na uchawi kwao, sijui umemua, umenini. There was so much stigma. So our era is a lot better. A lot better. So yeah, I have shared my story. I grew up in the same kind of household, and now I'm doing the same thing, but I have no regrets. I'm not changing anything anytime soon, not that quick. Anybody who comes to my life right now knows they're coming to add, not to be part of a problem. There's enough problems in the world. We don't need anymore. anymore. And so far, I'm lucky. I have a very easy boy, very easy. Right now, not a problem. Not yet, but he's just 13, so we get to see. So what you need to remember that all the choices we make in life, whether we make them or not, they're still a choice, and everything matters. Whether you choose to be part of a co-parenting situation, you choose to be part of your kid's life, every choice we make or don't make, we still have made a choice, and it will affect us, and it will affect our kids' future. The worst thing you could ever do as a parent, whether you're a single parent or not, is ignore your children. You need to involve them. You need to listen to them. You need to know where they are at. Because like I said, mental disorder can affect you or the children. You need to be there for those kids. Kids get affected in different ways. Like personally, like I said, I didn't want to reconnect with my dad. I felt like he had let me down. It was a personal attack to me. I didn't see how it wasn't. So get to know your children and understand how it's affecting them, the impact it has on their lives. Yeah. Listen to them a lot. Know that everything matters. Everything you do matters. So look after yourself mentally. Self-care is really important at this time. Paramount. Ama you start finding that you stress on those kids. Is a serious now about life, with life, about what utaleta zote utadump to the children, and then you'll create another cycle. Yeah, you're gonna pass it down. Si uchawi, si kurogwa, si generational curse, si nini. Something you've created yourself. Be that first person that breaks some of these things. You have to be that person that breaks some of those curses. So yeah, you make those choices, make those difficult choices, know that they have an impact on you, on your life, on your future, and on your children. That is the main mistake most parents do. When they fight, they always make one parent look or appear evil. Yeah, I had a lot of that personally, where we were told nasty things about our dad, nasty things, and mostly by relatives. Yeah, mostly by relatives, nasty things. And the more they told me things about my dad, the more I didn't want to reconnect with them. The more I just thought he was a villain or something. I was raised by a single mother. But she was also told, but she always told me nice things about my dad. Met him when I was 23, and the love and click was amazing. I love such stories. Yeah, I love such stories. I've never ever demonized my son, my baby daddy to my son. If he's gonna notice, he will notice. He will know what his dad is. He will know. Just because our relationship didn't work doesn't necessarily mean he was a bad person. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm an angel. Just because you're the parent who decided to stay doesn't mean you're an angel. Doesn't mean you're better than the other person. Most of the time, it's just moms who end up staying because of nurture and nature. You know, all those things that we've always found like that. It doesn't mean that, the mothers are better than the dads. Sometimes dads are also good, but nobody has given them the chance to prove themselves. So we should stop all these things that, dads are better, they're better because they like to know, and moms are better. No, there's nobody. We are all parents. So long as we've been given a chance, we can prove that we are good parents. Yeah, so single parents should raise their kids without hate over the other parent. Absolutely. This is not a battle. It's got nothing to do with you. One thing that I really wanted to mention today is that it's about the kids. It's about the children. At the end of the day, it's about the children. Argue it as much as you want, but it's about the children well-being. Your choices, your mistakes, your whatever brought these kids to life. They're now here. Sometimes it might have, I don't know your situation, it might have been accidental. Somebody did that to you. Yeah. But at the end of the day, something has already happened. We have a life to look after. What are some of the things we can do to ensure that this little human being ends up with a better life than the one you have? So yeah, remember, choices do matter. Make better choices. Cool. Yeah. Find help as much as possible. Look after yourself at all times. Okay, about co-parenting. This is co-parenting is that situation where you're not together. You have to look after the kids together. Keep your differences to yourself and understand that you're different human beings. Your style of parenting is different from theirs. That yours doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. It's not about my way or the highway. No, it's not a competition on here. If you can, try and avoid going through all those legal things. If you can, sit down and be civilized. Sit down and talk. Kama mnaweza kaa chini mnambiside sisi ni watu wakubwa, tumeleta mtoto kwa hii dunia, sisi ni watu wakubwa. Sit down and decide that. it will be great. But decide mambo ya cost, I've seen it in UK. Oh my God. People end up being bankrupt by hizi mambo ya legal matters, court cases. You waste so much time, it drags for years and years. It's not worth it. Well, if you know you're a parent, lipa. If it's maintenance you're supposed to pay for, lipa, endelea na maisha yako. If they don't want to reason with you, just play your part, endelea na maisha. They don't want you to see the kids, fine. Your kids will come back to you, they'll find you. God knows why you're coming from a good place, you have pure heart. They'll come back to you. Like the amazing story we've seen here, they reconnected at 23 and they got on so well. Those are some of the things that God will provide for you, will do it for you. Let God prevent for you. Let God do the hard work for you. Don't worry about those things. Seriously, we really need to stop these fights and stuff. It's in my court cases. We went through court cases when I was little. I saw them dragging, because my dad wanted to take us out of the country. He wanted to go with us, but he had remarried. He had he was in another relationship already, and people were like, "Oh, that woman is evil. She's gonna kill those kids and stuff." So it was so much dragging of court cases, and I was at that age where I kind of understood what was happening, and I was that age where I couldn't be left home. So my younger sister and I used to go everywhere, but Hash was so young to understand this thing. I was of that age where I understood a little bit. Wale wakubwa, they could be left at home. So hiyo mambo mnaenda courts, umekalishwa huko, there's always this. It's so dramatic. If you can avoid it, do avoid it. Those things mess up kids. I wet the bed for so many years and got into trouble for wetting the bed for so many years, because you're not supposed to be wetting the bed. Why are you wetting the bed? But what they don't know, what at least our parents didn't know, that it's a sign the kid is trying to tell you that they're stressed, they're traumatized, there's something happening to them. But we never knew those things back then. That's why I want us to be more aware and knowledgeable about stuff, so that we stop passing down bad things, basically. So if you can avoid those quotes, do. Sometimes it's essential, sometimes it has to happen, but if you can avoid them, just do. God will give you strength. You can do the whole parenting yourself. People do it every day. With or without money. People do it every day. We did it without money, so don't worry about it sometimes. Absolutely right. It's not about the two of you, it's about the child. Preach sweets. Oh, today we're going to preach it because it's something that affected me and now I'm still living it. So yes, it's not about you anymore. We want healthy kids in the future. We want healthy kids. You're not going to go get stressed and then hope to have healthy children. You're going to pass that down. Kids also read energy. They feel the energies. You brought home all that bad energy. Yeah, thank you so much. A very good lesson. But the main question on co-parenting, who stays with the kids? Okay, I think because of the biological factors, the woman gets the same most of the time. But depending on how developed your country is, some countries consider the finances because they want the kids to be fine. But in UK, we're lucky. First, if you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out, the man is the one who lives. They leave, and then you get help for the house. If it's way too expensive, maybe a big place, then you get to a council house, or you go to a smaller place, and then they pay towards it. They help you pay towards it. So usually the woman is given that privilege. And then when they get of age, 13, like now my son can choose. He can decide whether he wants to continue staying with me or he wants to stay with the dad. I've always been honest with him. I always told him that when you're ready, when you want to live with the dad, you can do that. It's okay. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's about the child. Sometimes the children think they know what they want. Sometimes they think, okay, because I do fun things with daddy is fun, then I want to live with dad. Sometimes they don't know the struggles you have as a mother. They don't know the things you had to do when you're a child, and that's why you don't have that kind of relationship. You're the one who had to tell them, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. But dad is the yes person. So they think that daddy is the cool person. They want to be the daddy. It's fine. If they choose to be the daddy, that's fine. I always told myself when he was little, anytime he wanted to be daddy, if daddy is okay with it, he wants to be daddy, we don't have to go to court for court to tell us, okay, oh, you can be daddy. This is our choice. 3 of us, we talk about it and decide for ourselves what's best for our family. We want every single one of us to be healthy. We all want to be good. Yeah. So personally, to me, who wants to stay with the kids is a person who wants to stay with the kids, but unfortunately, that's one of the hardest things to do. And we know some people don't really want, so even mothers, people assume that all mothers want to be with their kids. Not all mothers want to be with their kids. It's just a general assumption. Some mothers don't. Some mothers don't. So who stays with the kids? That's a hard one. I'd like you guys to help me answer this question. Who stays with the kids? What do you guys think about that? Yeah. For my mom's situation, she had to fight for us because my dad was wealthier, and she really had. I think maybe that's why for her it was necessary for her to go to court and stuff. She really had to fight for us, and so every situation is different. So cool. Yeah. Okay, we did talk about self-care. We have to make sure that we look after ourselves. I don't want you to confuse this point. These are two different points, but they might confuse. Always look after yourself. Put on your gas mask, oxygen mask first before you help everybody else. What I mean is that you need to be healthy mentally, physically, and all that for you to look after other people. When you're not okay yourself, you can't look after anybody else. If you can't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. Yeah. But when I say children come first, I only mean that when you're making decisions, not that you're not being you don't want to be selfish here and make decisions based on your own selfish ways, you know. Oh, I don't want them to see that their dad is a demon, or no. No, so long as there was never extreme abuse or by law, any law wasn't broken and stuff. Like the person didn't physically injure you or hurt you, emotional abuse or psychological abuse, all those things. So long as all those things are in place, it's just a normal guy and it didn't work out. It's fine. Let the make sure it's all about the kids. Let the kids have a relationship with the other parent. Let them have a relationship with the other parent. It's not a competition. I've said it and repeat it. It's not a competition. It's not just about you. So yeah, put on your gas mask first and look after yourself first. But remember, it's about the children. We want healthy children in our society. And then give time, give time to heal you, time to reveal things to you. Give God time to reveal himself to you, to give you strength, to help you look back and say, you know what, I've come a long way. I've done this. Be happy with yourself that you've tried. Nobody gave you an answer. Nobody told you your life will end up like that. You read all those fairy tale books that told you, oh, they lived happily ever after. And now, boop, surprise, 3 kids on my own. Just give yourself time, give God time to reveal himself, his purpose in your life, and why he allowed that to happen or why that happened. Because most of the time we make those choices and we end up in those situations. We choose the wrong person for us just because we're excited, we want to beat somebody, and then end up in situations. So just remember all those things and you'll be good. Hi, KJ. Hi. Yeah, so those are some of the things we need to know. And I think I've pretty much covered a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If you have anything to share, go ahead and share. I'm so grateful for your company and your time and stuff. So, cool. My voice is not completely back. So thank you. That's what I wanted to cover about. I wanted just mostly to share my own view, my own situation. And then on Thursday, we got Naomi Amuka, who will be talking much about it. So yeah, Santoni. Single parenting, it's so funny to make it as a big demon kind of thing, but we don't realize like a big part of the population are in that situation, a very big part of that population. Most of us are in all these blended families and stuff. It's something we need to accept so that we move forward. Simple as that. We just need to accept it because it's happening. It is happening. And now we rush into relationships so fast. All of us are just like, oh, you're of age. I mean, that's relationship, have kids. But you've not even discovered yourself as a person. You still don't know yourself. Why do you want those children? Do you really need those children? Do you really want it? Is it your future? Is it what we don't sit down and get to know ourselves in the first place? So, yeah. Asanteni sana. Thank you, Thank you so much for being here. For those who joined a little bit late, I hope you caught up and understood what you're talking about. We talk about single parenting, and I was talking about my situation as a single parent in UK, the kind of things, help I get, or I can get, or I have access to. And the one that I experienced myself from my mom, who had 5 of us, and her own struggle. Yeah. So yeah, asanteni sana. Otherwise, if there are no any questions, if you haven't got any questions, I think we can end that there for today. This question, who stays with the kids, it's really, really a difficult one to date. A difficult one to date because mothers are nurturing. So by nature, we're the one who give back to them, and we've always seen mothers doing a pretty much good job, almost consistently. It's not always 100%, but mostly so. People have always assumed that mothers can do the job, but maybe it's not true. Maybe it's because we've always given mothers a chance, and that's why we've always thought mothers do a better job. Maybe because dads, not so long ago, dads were expected to go away from work after work. They pass to the by the pub, one for the road. By the time they come home, the kids are asleep. So they were never really involved. Nobody ever knew whether they can do a better job than the women or whatever. So it's something that, as a society, maybe we need to look into it again and see who stays with the kids, who stays with the kids. Yeah. I would never ever say that, oh, maybe we are better than the men in it. It's a hard thing because it's just like in the workplace, people are already assumed that men did better job than women, but it's only because women are mostly at home. So nobody ever knew whether women could do a good job. But now women are beginning to prove themselves that show that. And I know a lot of single dads who are doing a pretty good job. One of my neighbors, I think he's doing a really amazing job with his daughter. So cool. So we can't just sum it up always. We need to transition and transform with time and realize things are changing and change with it. You're a single mom and you don't want to do it, you don't know what you're doing, and you completely refuse to figure out how to do it. Ask for help, or ask him if he wants to have them, let him have them. It's not meant for you, it's making you depressed. We see sometimes kids, the parent gets so depressed that they want to end it all, and they think that they're doing the kids a favor by ending it all. One day, all the kids in the bathroom, in the bathtub, water filled in there, kids are no more. Yeah, because you're depressed, you're not happy. It's not something you wanted to do, it's not something you planned. You've not accepted the change, you've not accepted the circumstances, you've refused to accept it, and now it's affecting you negatively. You can't find a way of looking after yourself and figuring things out. One day you're just in a situation where you're thinking, I'm ending it all, and you end up ending it all. So yeah, a pickle, a pickle, a pickle. So thank you guys. I think I've given you enough time to ask any questions if you have any questions, but it seems like we don't. So if you allow me, I can end the broadcast. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much. I will be back on Thursday. Kwaherini. Bye for now. Have a nice week ahead and look after yourself and be gentle to all the single parents you know. Be kind. You don't know their struggles. You don't know how they got into that situation. You can't always assume that it was from a relationship. Some people got it accidentally. They didn't choose it, they were forced into it. And that's the mystery of life. We don't know why. Higher purpose knows why he allows such things to happen. And that person was kind enough to, say, okay, this has happened to me. Somebody has forced themselves into me and abused me and left me with this. I'm choosing to look after this thing. All they need from us as a society is our love and support. They don't need us judging and just putting salt in that injury. Yeah, we just need to be kinder and kinder to ourselves, to the people around us, and the world will be full of love. Thank you. Have a nice day. Kwaheri. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And bye for today. Kwaheri.